Okay, everyone, excellent job so far. So next we are going to move into the instruction and modeling part of today's class. But before we do that, I just wanted to quickly remind you of today's lesson objectives. So we have three major lesson objectives for today. Who can tell me what they are? What's the first objective? Diano? Good. To identify the setting of the story. And what is a setting, Helen? Good. It's the place and the time in which the story occurs. Very good. So try to identify where and when the Lord of the Flies story is happening. Okay? Good. How about the second objective? Who can tell us the second objective? Eric. Good. During our warm-up discussion, we talked about society, right? And think about the term society, and more importantly, as we read chapter 1, what type of society do you think the characters live in? It's going to be very important, so make sure you think about this because tomorrow's lesson will focus a lot on society and what kind of society exists on the island. Okay? How about the third objective? Helen again? A little bit louder? Great. Exactly right. To identify the main characters and some of their characteristics. What do I mean by characteristics? How about Anna? Good. What they're like. They're good. Their physical characteristics, what they look like, and their good. Emotional characteristics, how they behave. Very, very good. Okay. So now, before we start reading chapter 1 on our iPads, which everyone has out, everyone's ready? Good. Let's talk about the title of chapter 1. Okay? So let's predict what the story is going to be about from the title. What is the title of chapter 1? Eric. Good. The Sound of the Shell. Let's break down that title. Sound of the Shell. What are the two key words in that sentence? How about Billy? Sound, right? Sound and Diano? Shell. Good. Everyone knows what a sound is, right? I'm making a sound. A sound is just a... What is another word for sound? Helen? Yeah, good. Like a noise of some kind, right? So a noise or sound coming from a shell. What kind of shell do you think we're talking about? It could be the shell of an animal, like a... What's an animal that has a shell? Good. Diano? Yeah, turtle has a shell, right? That's a famous example. Or a, yeah, good, a crab of some kind. Where might we find these animals? Eric? Yeah, in the ocean, or what's really close to an ocean? A, Billy? Yeah, beach. Maybe we find these animals near a beach. Has anyone been to a beach? And do you know of a shell that can make a sound? Everybody does, right? Good. So, what do you think this title might tell us? What might it tell us about the story? It might give us a clue about something. What do you think? Take a few seconds to think about it. Ellen? Good, right? Maybe it's where they are. Maybe they're where? Diano? A beach, because they're talking about the sound of a shell, like one we might find on a beach. Very good. Okay, now, what we are going to do is everyone's going to take their iPad. I want you to don't read the first page, but we're going to do some story guesswork. I want you to skim the first page of chapter 1. Try to guess what's happening or what the story might be about. And there will be a lot of words you don't know. So I want you to use your Kindle reader on your iPads to look up some words you don't know. And then we're going to compare some of the vocabulary that we're unsure of and use that to try to guess what the story is going to be about. So in your groups, okay, work together. I will walk around and make sure everyone's doing everything appropriately, okay? Good. Okay, so yeah, this word you don't know, Billy, right? So use your highlight it in the Kindle Reader, and it'll tell us what it means. Got it? Okay. Also, make sure you are putting these in your vocabulary notes, right? Put them in your vocabulary notes, these words. Helen? Yep. Good. So highlight this word, upload it. Okay. And I will look at some of the words I didn't know, and we'll review. So on page 1, what are some of the words we don't know? Billy? Yeah, Billy didn't know what windbreaker meant. Windbreaker. What did you come up with? You're pointing at me because I'm wearing a windbreaker, right? Yeah, so another word for windbreaker might be, according to the reader, a jacket. A big heavy jacket? No, a kind of a light, maybe almost a rain jacket. Good. And any other words, Helen? Spectacles. Good. What are spectacles? Who had this or who knows this? Diano. Right. Spectacles are like glasses, okay? So, good. So, what do we think the story is going to be about? We've skimmed through it. Where do we think they are? Based on the skimming the first chapter, we think they might be where? Eric? Sounds like an island based on some of the vocabulary, right? We know that. And did anything happen to them? Something good, something bad? Anna? Yeah, it looks like something happened with a plane. Good. It mentions a plane. Something happened with a plane. That was not very good. Yeah, so this sets up the story, and I think everyone has a good idea what's going to happen and how the story begins. So now, in the next part, let's start reading together. Is everybody ready? Okay.